Those two things don't usually go together in a sentence. 19-year-old county board member. Tell me, why did you seek election?
Well, it's been in my family for a long time. Politics has been in my family for a long time. My great-grandfather in Sangamon County has always been into politics, and my grandfather, and so it's kind of run down the line a bit. And it finally got to me, and I've been doing a lot of political work since I was probably about 7 years old, and just when you turn 18, it just kind of, everything changes because you can vote, and it seems like you can get more involved because you're allowed to. So, and I got the opportunity to run from the McDonough County, Democratic McDonough County Chairman, Bob Cook, and he said, would you like to run? And I said, well, I'd love to. It'd be a great opportunity. So I took it, and I didn't even hesitate. I just took it.
So this is something that wasn't a snap decision. I mean, this is something that's been going on for quite a while. It's something that a goal that you've set for yourself for quite a while.
Right. I never pictured myself in politics, but I guess I've kind of set the path for it now that I've done this, and I look forward to it a lot. It's exciting. The whole political before the election is so much fun because you're not only working for yourself, you're working for other people, and it's a lot of fun for me. I enjoy it. We
continually hear about how the participation of young people in politics keeps declining, and it's obviously something that no one can really put a finger upon except to say that, well, they just don't care. That's obviously not the truth. There are many other people, young people just like you out there, who are very interested in politics. But why is it important for young people to get involved? Why should they take, maybe not the step that you took to run for a county office or a city office, something such as that, but why is it important to at least get involved, to work with the parties, to do something at the grassroots?
Well, I mean, it's kind of, we're kind of underrated, young generation, this generation right now. They think there's a lot of apathy. I think a lot of people, older people, think there's a lot of apathy. There is a lot of apathy. But I do see a lot more college students at least getting involved because voting is so much important than you thought when you were younger. I mean, it is important. It is one vote, but it means so much. And yeah, getting involved with the party, choosing your opinions. There's so much. It's so open. You could do whatever you want. And I encourage young people not to go run like I did, but just to get out and vote and help with some campaigns because it is important, and it's a lot of fun too. It can be a lot of fun. It's not all serious. It can be a lot of fun too, because I had a lot of fun before I turned 18, just working in politics. It's a lot of fun.
You, of course, are a student at Western Illinois University. That gives you another perspective. But what kind of other things do you think you bring to the McDonough County Board as a 19-year-old resident?
New ideas, just fresh ideas, because I've talked to a lot of taxpayers around the county and a lot of citizens, and they love the idea that there's a new face on the county board because there's a lot of good people on the board, but they do want to see some fresh ideas and new people coming in there because you have to eventually start doing that. I mean, you can't stick with the same people for 50 years. You need to start moving on, and that's a lot of people were happy about it. There were some new people, and I encourage a lot of people to do that. I mean, it's a popular idea, just new people, fresh ideas.
When someone hears the statement 19 years in connection with the county board, it's usually a 19-year member of the county board. It's not a 19-year-old member of the county board. Do you get a lot of razzing from the older members of the board?
Yeah, well, when I first stepped in there, I think they just thought I was an audience member or a concerned citizen. They didn't realize that I was about ready to be sworn in. Yeah, it's fun to watch their faces because they're like, "Are you old enough to be in here?" Yeah, 19 years old. I'm a voter, and yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's not a negative feeling. I mean, it's a surprise feeling, but it's not a negative feeling. They're glad to see someone this young doing this.
Have they listened to some of your ideas, and what kinds of things have you brought before the board's attention?
Well, nothing yet. It's been, I've been sworn in one board meeting, and I have my first committee meeting on January 2nd. But of course, the tax issue is very large, and I still seek information on it and how to improve it, because there's a major problem, as we all know, in this area with taxes.
Yes, we're getting to that just shortly here, and we might as well address it because McDonough County seemingly has one of the highest tax rates, property tax rates, in the entire viewing area, certainly in western Illinois. What steps can the county board take to help ease some of that burden?
It's very tough. It's very tough when you have your taxes set at a rate that it's already at, and you have the values that are so low. It's a long process, and it's just going to take a long time. We're going to have to stop saying we need to raise taxes. It's not always the answer. It's not always the correct answer. You need to stop and say, maybe there is a couple cuts we need to make. Maybe there's something else we could do here. Maybe something cheaper, something a little less expensive. And it's a slow process, and it's going to take several years to get it anywhere where anybody's happy. And so, but I look forward to it. I look forward to helping out. And with the tax cap issue, there are some risks involved, but for the most part, people support it because something needs to be done. Something absolutely needs to be done. And I agree with that. I think there's something needs to be done, and right now that's the only solution on the table.
So from your perspective, it is a good idea, but what about those who say, well, wait a minute, look at this. Just because you place a tax cap on people's taxes, that doesn't mean that their taxes are going to go down. In fact, if the value of their land goes up, their taxes will go up.
Right.
Is that something that you're concerned about? Do you think people really know exactly what they're getting into?
Well, there are going to be several educational meetings before the issue is put on the ballot. I believe there's going to be 4, and it's going to be trying to educate the public about a tax cap. And yes, it's true. It doesn't lower taxes. It sets a rate at which you can raise it. I think it might be 5% or so. It doesn't. Yeah, people have to understand that it doesn't raise. It doesn't lower taxes at all. It doesn't. In fact, it doesn't even stop them from raising it. It just sets a point where they can be raised each year. So it's an understanding. It's a tough issue. It's tough. You really have to learn about it. And I encourage everybody, all taxpayers, if you're interested in this, go to those meetings, go to these town meetings, and find out what this is all about, because it's important, and it could change some minds about it. Because right now it is the only issue. It's the only solution on the table that we can talk about.
Would a tax cap, though, put a damper upon the ability of the county to bring in revenue to support its programs? Would the county have to make cuts? Is that something that people are saying? Hey, look, if we put a tax cap on, you guys are going to be forced to cut because there won't be as much revenue coming in.
That's what I think people need to understand. I think people need to understand the risks involved here. What possibilities could happen, because you can't get out of this tax cap once you're in it. And so I think people they need to learn about this, because there are some major risks involved.
So the county could lose some services then. We're talking about some services that may have to be cut, services which many McDonough County residents depend upon greatly. While that's not such a bad thing, cutting government, there will be a definite loss, won't there?
There could be. Could very well be. I'm not sure to what extent, but I know there could be. It's possible.
What types of other issues face the McDonough County Board?
Really nothing. There's the issue of storage space, because the courthouse is really getting filled up, and they're thinking about moving some of the storage to above the Sears building, the downtown area. But that's an issue. I'm not really sure right now what the big issues. Really, the big issue is the tax issue. That's what everybody's talking about.
You bet. One other issue, of course, that's being addressed in many western Illinois counties, and for that matter throughout the tri-states, is large corporate hog lots. Mm-hmm. Now, a couple of years ago, McDonough County went through this battle. That really never came to fruition, but is the issue of large corporate hog lots something that the McDonough County Board will be keeping an eye on?
I'm sure they will. I'm sure we'll start hearing about it in the near future, but yeah, right now it's on the back burner like most other big issues because of this tax issue. But Yeah, it's important. It's a people issue. Do people want this, or, I mean, is it good for the county? You've got to get public opinion about that, because it's really their decision whether we should have that or not.
And of course, that's something that might be put on the ballot eventually too.
Yeah, I think it probably will be. Yeah. I'm not sure when, but yeah.
Of course, we talked about that issue. We've talked about taxes. We've talked about some of the other issues that the county is looking at. But overall, is McDonough County in pretty good shape? I mean, are the roads, the bridges in good shape? Or is the county budget holding up pretty well?
I think so. I think it's doing well. We have great education. It's working. And yes, the roads, we've got the 4-lane system coming into McDonough County. It's coming all the way down from Monmouth, 67 expansion, and of course, trying to get the Quincy to Macomb 4-lane. Trying to get the rest
You
of the
may
county
be a
going.
19-year member of the county board by the time that one gets completed.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's going to take a long time, but yeah, I think it's going well. I mean, McDonough County it's in real good shape right now, but we've got some frustrated people about the taxes, and I understand. Everybody understands that.
You bet.
Yeah.
We got about 30 seconds. You've won an election to the McDonough County Board. Any higher political aspirations? Are we going to be interviewing you 10 years from now when you're running for the Senate?
People ask me that all the time. I'm going to take it one step at a time. If I can get past the county board, if I can feel comfortable there and do a good job there, I certainly would like to go on beyond that. I would love to. I do love politics. I'm in love with it.
Great. Micah Roderick, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us as well. Don't go anywhere. Wanda Mitchell is back with more from our Hannibal studio in just a moment.
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely or comfort the infirm. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could